So the Skoda Rapid hasn't really changed for 2020. It looks the same on the outside and has the same interiors as well. In fact, its engine has actually decreased from 1600cc to just 999. So 2 plus 2 should equal 4, right? Well, that didn't sound like a 4, more like a 6 or maybe even an 8. And that under the hood is the biggest change in the new Rapid. It's a 1 litre 3-cylinder petrol, but the key here is that it's a turbo. So it makes 110 PS of power and 170 odd Newton meters of torque. One thing that's apparent in the sound that it makes is that it's a 3-cylinder. It's quite thrummy in nature, but at the same time, at idle, it's fairly refined as well. Where earlier you did have the option of an automatic gearbox with the Skoda Rapid, now you only have this, a 6-speed manual paired with that 1 litre motor. And that means both in the city, out on the highway, or even when you're going for it just a little bit, it's quite nice to drive. Its throws are short and it's fairly slick shifting. So both in the city, out on the highway, you're never fearing those gear shifts and you just stop thinking about it. In the city, a nicely weighted steering, a light clutch, and that slick shifting gearbox make for a nice combination. That engine is also nice and tractable. So you can be in a high gear, say 4th, and drop down to as low as 1500 RPM and it will still pull away cleanly without too much of a complaint. Yes, it is a small engine paired with a turbo, so below 2000 RPM, throttle response is dull. But that doesn't mean you can't keep up with traffic in the city, and a slight prod on the throttle means you can pull off an overtake. If you really need a really quick overtake, you may need a downshift, but actually in the city, it's happy to stay in just one gear. And speaking of that gearing, it's quite tall. So when you're on the highway at 100 kilometers per hour in 6th gear, the engine is ticking over just at about 2200 RPM. That's in the meat of the power, well, not the meat, but just at the start of the power band, and it's ready just for prod on the throttle to give you acceleration. And at highway speeds, the Rapid stays nicely stable. It's good over the bumps, settles quickly, and is quite confidence-inspiring at highway speeds. And that suspension is quite nicely tuned for the city as well. So where the Rapid was known to thud over even small speed breakers, this new tune has taken the edge off those softer bumps. So things like speed breakers and, well, little pothole roads don't really have that thudding sound that you were used to from earlier. Yes, if there is a sharp bump, it will be audible in the cabin, but it's a much nicer experience than before. So a small engine and tall gearing. That clearly hints at one thing, efficiency. With 17.13 kilometers per litre on the highway and 12.7 in the city, it's not the most efficient petrol we've tested, but that isn't going to hurt your wallet either. Where this engine does excite is when the roads open up and you get to let it breathe a little. In the lower gears, acceleration is quite brisk, not what you expect from a small little 1 litre engine. Power comes in at about 2000 or 2200 RPM with a bit of a stronger kick at 3000 RPM, and that urges you to keep revving it close to its red line around 5000 RPM. And with that tall gearing, third gear is enough to get you up to fairly silly speeds. If you're an enthusiast, it's quite a nice car to drive. And with that slick shifting 6-speed gearbox, who needs a DSG? So yes, not much has changed on the interiors of the Rapid as well. It's still a very nice, clean European design. What we mean is there's not too much of flair or highlights. In the Onyx and the Monte Carlo variant, you do get an all black paint scheme on the inside, but in the other variants you have a black and beige. Some few flares, so there's this piano black finish here, chrome accents around the AC vents, and with the Onyx and the Monte Carlo again you get this sport steering wheel, so it's a flat bottom steering wheel. The seats are, well, nice and supportive, but we could do with a little bit more side support. The driver's seat adjusts for height and the steering wheel adjusts both for height and reach, so you are able to get a nice driving position, but that has been something that's been fairly standard in this platform. With the Monte Carlo, you do also get these leatherette seat covers. They're nicely fitted, but we are not too much of a fan of this color scheme though.
We also didn't quite like the position of the center armrest, and in all but its lowest position, it does get in the way of gear shifts.
One thing that is brand new on the Rapid, it's there in the top two variants, is this new 8-inch touchscreen. This is a little different, so you do already have Android apps on the system and you can download more from the Play Store. For example, we have Netflix here, you also have YouTube. In terms of functionality, it's a nice bright screen, it's fairly crisp to use, but the interface will take a little getting used to. And there are some things that we like about it, some things that we have a little bit of complaints about.
So the good bits are that just by sharing internet, you're getting a premium Android experience. There's even the ability to play music and videos from a pen drive. There's also access to the complete Play Store, so apps like this neat digital GPS display could be funky additions to your drive experience. But the system does lack the simplicity and outright practicality of both Android Auto and Apple CarPlay. Other feature highlights include auto headlamps and wipers and auto dimming IRVM. Climate control and electric power windows with a one-touch up and down function on all four windows are standard across all variants.
In the rear, so for reference, I'm 5'10", the front seat set to my driving position, and I have, well, reasonable knee room and I can stretch my feet out in front under the seat. In terms of under-thigh support, the seats are fairly supportive. The seat back is a little bit upright, but as you can see, not very much headroom. So in terms of the space and the comfort on offer in the rear, it's cars like the Ciaz and the Honda City will offer you a lot more in terms of comfort. In terms of features, you do get rear AC vents, flip down cup holder and a charge socket. You also get a rear armrest, and this is standard in all the variants. And in this, the Monte Carlo, since, well, there's a little bit of compromise on comfort, you do get these two cushions just to make things a little bit more comfortable. So you also do get these removable sunshades. That's a nice touch. And in terms of things that you may miss, well, sunroofs have made an appearance in this segment, and that was something that would have helped maybe brighten the cabin a little bit. And of course, a little more legroom and headroom in the rear. And on the outside of the Monte Carlo, well, there are a few distinguishing features like this badge on the B pillar, these black alloys, a blacked out roof, and this black spoiler on the boot.
The rest of the exteriors are unchanged, with halogen projector headlamps and LED DRLs. The Monte Carlo grille is all black, while the other variants feature a chrome surround. Gloss black exterior mirrors are also reserved for just the Monte Carlo and Onyx variants. The Monte Carlo comes in this flash red color and a candy white, while the Onyx is available in a lapis blue and also a candy white. Which of the two looks better though? The Onyx in blue or the Monte Carlo in red? Do let us know in the comments below. In terms of safety, there are 2 airbags as standard with ABS and rear parking sensors. The style variant gets 2 additional side airbags and seatbelt pretensioners. The Rapid is priced between 7.49 and 11.79 lakh for this Monte Carlo edition, but the style variant, which is 30,000 less at 11.49 lakh, is the better spec variant.
So the Rapid TSI hasn't changed a lot. Yes, of course, there's that 1-litre engine. But this isn't a surprise because the group is looking at changing this platform in just a year's time. Yes, the competition does do quite a few things a little bit better, both in terms of space and comfort, as well as offering wow features like sunroofs or connected car tech. But the Rapid still has quite a bit going for it. Driving dynamics, as well as a lot of everyday practical features. And yes, that 1-litre engine really changes the equation more than that spec sheet would suggest. Both in terms of everyday drivability as well as being exciting when the road opens up and still staying efficient. So finally, on the whole, that change in equation really does make the Rapid TSI worth a definite look.